Yo, this is a tutorial on how to do a new cool effect for beginners in Cinema 4D. What it is basically, I'm going to be taking a logo, and I'm going to make it look like the logo is made of rock, but the rock is breaking because there's like diamonds or crystals or whatever you want to make it inside. So let's just hop right in. So I'm going to merge my AI file. And sorry if I'm doing this quick, it's because I told a friend that I would have this done earlier, but the recording screwed up, so. Alright, you want to drag these out, you want to select all your paths, and then connect the objects and delete. Now you want to bring in 2 extrude nurbs, and then just drag and drop your path. Actually, don't bring in 2, just create 1, and then hit Control CV, which will duplicate the layer. Now make sure both of these are whatever length looks good. I think 55 looks pretty good. Make sure they both have a fillet cap, and then make sure that one of them is set to triangles. And then what you want to do is, for the one that has triangles, you just want to set an atom array, and then drag the one that's set with triangles. You can see the difference because of the outline. Drag the one with triangles into the atom array. Change this, and then we'll just set to both these to 3, so it creates straight lines. Perfect, that looks good. Now what we're going to do with this one is we're going to use a plugin called Nitroblast. We're going to go to Nitroblast main, and you can copy down these settings. These are just the last settings I use. I guess they gave me a pretty decent render. I'm just going to use these. Now I'm going to go to MoGraph and then Fracture. You're going to put all your pieces in here. You're going to add the random effector to it, which is then going to give you the effect of everything going everywhere. So you drop these all into there, make sure there's nothing under Dynamic 44, and then you can just delete your Nitroblast layer. Now what you do with the fracture is you click on the fracture, you go to MoGraph, Effector, and then Random. Now this is going to send the pieces flying everywhere. Now you just want to drag in your strength right here. You just want to drag everything down so that there's not like insane amounts of pieces like flying everywhere, because you want to just try to keep the shape but while having it like look like it's cracked. Alright, so then you've got this. Now if anything, you can always drag your fracture or your atom array back. I think dragging the fracture is easier because there's not just like white everywhere. Alright, so now you can see that it's all broken, and there's like pieces of almost like a skeleton, if you will. Just not a skeleton, but like a frame or whatever. Alright, we got that. Now, since this logo is a circle, I'm going to use a tube for the backing. And you can do that with most, but if anything, you could always draw your own shape using the freehand and just create your own spline. Like if you got a triangle, you could make something shitty like this and then just connect it, and then that's your thing. But we're not going to do that. We're working with a nice simple round logo. So you take your tube and you want to rotate it, and then you just want to try to center it. So we're going to go to the frontal view or whatever it's called, and you just want to try to get it generally in the middle. And then you make the tube bigger. You want it to pretty much match the size of the logo, if not maybe just a little bit smaller. And then you want the inside to be just a little wider. So you don't want to be able to like see it, you want it to look like it's inside. And then you can go back to the front viewer, and then you click on your tube. Actually, you click elsewhere. Make sure you're not clicking on anything. You go to MoGraph, Effector, Random. Make sure nothing is selected, because if not, you will get screwed over. Because what'll happen is it'll think that you want to random the tube, which will just make it move some random spot. What you really want to do is you want to take these 2 objects, so tube and random.1, which is your second random, right click it, and then go to group objects. Now click on your random, and the deformer, you want to change it to point. Now it's going to go crazy, but you just want to turn that down just a little bit so it looks like there's shards popping out. If it's way too far in front, you can always bring it back a bit. See, this will look nice. This will look like there's like, it looks almost already like there's pieces of whatever popping out. So you just drag this onto your tube, Usually I like to go, you can change these to whichever looks like it has more like coverage of the texture. I'm feeling frontal right now is looking pretty good. So then you want to do the same thing for your atom array. You want two glowy colors for the atom array and the which is like the skeleton, and a glowy color for the tube, which is going to look like the things popping out of it. And then you want to open up your fracture, click on piece 0, hold shift, and then click on piece 43, which will select all of the pieces in between those two. Now you just want to select your texture. I recommend using a rock-like texture. So we'll just apply this rock one to all of them. And then, yeah, go back to the camera, click on the camera, get a good view of it, and then render it. But yeah, no, like I said, previously when I tried, this was the render. The render is not supposed to look 100% perfect. It's going to look a little iffy because you can only get so nice with textures. I mean, we're not $1 million graphic designers, but it'll all come through in the CC. So while it's rendering, it should take a long time. Oh, by the way, make sure you have all these render settings. Ambient occlusion, 5 centimeters for minimum real length, and then maximum 150 centimeters, and then the rest you can just keep it default to what it was before. Don't touch this. Depth of field, just use it as normal. Global image, same, or global illumination, just keep it the same. Lens effect, same. Object glow, same. I mean, you can't really change those, but so yes, what we're going to be doing is basically we're going to bring them into Photoshop. We're going to add some color correction and modify it. So we're not going to like add textures and shit. Sorry, I had to burp there. We're just going to add color correction to it. And then after we've added the color correction, then we're going to bring it into After Effects. And then you don't absolutely need After Effects to do it, but if you have After Effects, it can turn out really nice. So we're just going to use the glow thing effect, and then what it does is just whatever the brighter colors, it brings them out and makes them flashier. But you can probably do the exact same thing in Photoshop by just going to exposure or curves or vibrance. And I don't know if there's any glow filters. I never tried it, but yeah. And what I'll do is I'll put my the CC that I use, which is the blue-green one. You'll see is really nice. And let me just delete this. And then I'll show you one more thing. So in your CC, on top of all the curves and colors and whatever patterns you have set up, you're going to go Control Shift N or Command Shift N for max. And then you're just going to create a new layer. And then on this layer, you're going to keep it just completely blank. And then you're going to change this to hue, as in hue. And then what you're going to do is you're going to select your color. I'm going to have green selected because green really works nice with this. It looks like it's just a really nice render. So let's see if it's done rendering. Alright, nice, it's done rendering. So yeah, this looks just approximately like the other one. This is just what you want it to look like. So save it as, make sure you have it as a PNG and it's on alpha channel, or you want that checked. So we're just going to name this for tutorial. Just drag this onto your layer with CC, and then you just drag this down. That's weird. I do not know why it's not showing. Hold on, I don't know what just happened. Let's try this again. What? Oh, I know why. It's because I put it into the CC layer, if you will. So we're just going to drag this, make sure it's not in here. And then you turn on the CC. And then with this layer that I told you about, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a paintbrush. And then I'm going to make sure the hardness is at 0%. And then I'm going to change this layer to hue. I guess I didn't do it before. And then wherever the crystals pop out, you just want to color the huge crystals that pop out. You just want to color those green, and then maybe some green like those skeletons, so it looks like there's veins popping out crystals, I guess. That's one way to explain it. So yeah, just get this colored in. Add some green wherever you want, or whatever color you want wherever. Alright, I think this looks pretty nice so far. Alright, so this is looking pretty nice. We're just going to save this. Make sure you don't close your Photoshop after this. We're going to need it. So I'm just going to go to my scraps, and then we're going to save it as toot2. Save it as a JPEG. Alright, now in Photoshop what you could do is you could probably just mess around with the exposure to make it glow or whatever. It's not going to be as nice of an effect, but it'll definitely work a bit or do something. So now I have my After Effects, so I'm going to bring in toot2. So I'm just going to drag this into comp 1. Alright, so now you have the thing that we just rendered. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click glow, and if you see, you can check, it adds a bunch of glow to it. Now this is too much glow, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn down the glow intensity just a little. You want some, you don't want it maxed out, because if you do, it's just going to look disgusting. So just whatever, 0.5 I guess is going to look fine. You can see that it's glowing. And then go to glow radius, and then you could change it to make the glow like in one spot, or you can make it look like it's, you know, blurring out other things because it's glowing so bright. See, if you turn this one, the glow threshold is just where the light reflects off to. If you just turn it all the way up, then it sucks. But yeah, you just want a little bit of this, and then there you have it. You have your glow thing. Now you want to go to your composition settings. Make sure that you have the duration set to 0.1 second. The frames doesn't matter because you know you're only gonna have one frame. So you have this. Now you can add like some CC stuff to it, but I don't recommend it. If you want, you could go to your looks or whatever and just add some stuff. What I like to do sometimes, but not all the time, I'll add chromatic aberration, which just gives it like an RGB split effect. So if you look at this, you can see there's a little bit of RGB split. That's cool, but you don't have to use it. Some people can use it if they like, but I'm not going to use it. So now we're at the render part. So now all you do is File, Export, Add to Render Queue, go to the lossless, which is where the settings are, and then you want to make sure you have it set as a JPEG sequence. Click OK. Now let's go 2, 3. So now you just want to have it render out. You're gonna hear render noise. I don't know if you guys just heard that, but I definitely heard it. It was in me. So then now you grab your 2, 3 and you drag it in here, and then you can see the difference, like just between the two. See how this one's glowing? And then all you have to do after that is yeah, you just select the layer under, hit Control, hold Control or Command, click on this, and go Control Shift I, and then just make sure you have this layer selected. Actually rasterize it, and then delete it just like that, and you're set. And make sure that you don't put it under the CC thing, because then it's just going to be like way too much and way too dark and you're not going to see anything. So make sure it's on top of everything, and then you can just take this off, take off your background, and then you've got it just like that. And then you've got a cool thing. And you can throw this in wherever you want. So yeah, that's how you make it. Yeah, so subscribe, like, comment. If I missed something or if you guys need any trouble, just contact me, comment, whatever. I'll help you. Alright, thanks for watching. Goodbye. Have a wonderful life.